Hi dudes, I'm Brooke, and there's a very important day that is coming up very soon. That day is my birthday. My birthday is, of course, a celebration of the day I was born, and although that was a really big deal for me, I don't remember it because at the time, I was the youngest person ever. My mom remembers it though. She was there. And she says I did great. And though I haven't given birth myself, don't tell Navy, but she's adopted. No! I can only imagine from what I've been told that it's extremely difficult and painful and traumatic. I'm sure it's also rewarding and empowering and a lot of complex things as well. But my point is that what science tells us is it's one of the most painful experiences a human can endure. And people who have given birth attest to that. I even asked my mom. Because of this, usually when someone's partner is going into labor, that person is there to support and make the pregnant partner's experience as easy as possible. The last thing someone in labor needs is for their partner to be whining about how they're not having a good time. You know who's not having a good time? The person shoving a bowling ball through a fucking coffee straw over a 48-hour period. 48-hour period? I wish. Mine are like a week. But believe it or not, I have seen a ton of videos online of men making their partner's birth about them and being basically upset that they have to be inconvenienced to be there. So we're gonna torture ourselves and talk about that today. But before we get into it, I need to tell you all about today's sponsor. You know her, we love her, Bellesa. Today's video is sponsored by Bellesa. Dudes, Bellesa and I are teaming up to do a massive toy giveaway. Literally everybody who signs up using my link in my description will win a free rose suction toy with their order. Yes, everybody. Bellesa is a by women, for everyone sexual wellness brand that focuses on empowering us all to explore our pleasure, without shame, without stress, without weirdness. Bellesa is the #1 most trusted brand in sexual wellness for a reason. Their toys are made from medical grade, body safe silicone and come in these tiny, colorful charging cases that are discreet, travel friendly, and way better than keeping them loose in a drawer for someone else to find. Their shipping is also extremely discreet. No neighbors, coworkers, roommates, or mail carriers getting up in your business. Their warranty program is also unmatched. 1 year no hassle replacements and a 10-year quality guarantee. And yes, the cutest rumors ever are true. If your dog destroys your toy, Bellesa will send you a new one in exchange for a photo of the perpetrator. You guys know I'm a huge dog person, so I absolutely love that they have that policy. And while I can't show you the actual toys here, love you, YouTube, you can see their huge collection of toys at the link in my description. And again, everybody who signs up via that link will win a free rose suction toy with their order. Thank you to Bellesa for sponsoring this video. Now back to me. So one thing about me is that if I'm really angry about something or in like a lot of pain or something like that, and I'm told to calm down or relax, it's gonna send me into such a blind rage. That is such a surefire way to piss me off and guarantee that I stay pissed off. So imagine being in labor and rushing to the hospital, and instead of getting support and reassurance from your partner that everything's gonna be okay, you get this.
Oh, I'm not okay. I'm really not okay.
I know. We'll be there in 7 minutes.
Jonathan, I'm scared.
You don't need to be.
Okay, don't. I'm scared. I'm having severe pain.
Just relax.
Don't say that to me!
Oh my gosh, okay.
First of all, I know. No, you don't, Jonathan. You don't know at all. Like, he's already acting inconvenienced by her being scared and in pain. And then when she tells him not to say that, he has the fucking audacity to get all defensive like she snapped at him out of nowhere. Like, you just told her to relax like she was being fucking crazy for being scared and expressing that to you. People die in childbirth. Plus, the entire world knows that it's one of the most painful experiences a person can endure. And you're telling her to relax? Dude, I'd sooner drive myself to the hospital than have him take me. Just validate her or listen to her or tell her it's gonna be okay. Relax is a crazy thing to tell somebody who's effectively about to get surgery without anesthesia. Relax, dude. Oh my God. And then like, okay. Like, you're really being defensive right now? Like, dude. There's also being told not to be loud when you could have a contraction because you could wake up the dog. Like, Okay, I understand that he's probably trying to make sure things don't start to get worse for her because of like the sensory nightmare of the dog starting to bark, but telling her preemptively to be quiet when she gets another contraction is so annoying to me. Like, I've never been in labor again, but I would imagine you don't really have a choice if you need to make noise or not out of pain. Also, God forbid the dog barks. Would that be the end of the fucking world? Like, speaking of the world though, it's still unfortunately misogynistic, because we are a mere days away from my birthday, February 9th, and MrBeast still has more subscribers than me. So please subscribe so we can beat MrBeast by my birthday for the good of feminism as a whole. Hashtag sharks bite beasts. This is the home stretch, guys, because there is no way that I would run this bit into the ground and keep it going after my birthday. One of the main things I see people post when they're making fun of how their partners behaved during childbirth is that they're sleeping through a ton of the labor. For reference, according to the Cleveland Clinic, labor on average takes 12 to 24 hours for a first birth, and then is often shorter, like around 8 to 10 hours for births after that. And that's the average, so it can go on way longer. This entire process takes place over different stages: the early birth, then active labor, then birth, then the delivery of the placenta. And through most of these stages, if you're giving birth in a hospital, you're frankly just stuck in a hospital for hours. Now, personally, if I'm choosing between being a little bit uncomfy in a chair and kind of bored, or pushing a fucking human skull out of my pussy, I gotta imagine being a little bored and maybe uncomfy in a chair is the easier route here, but what do I know? A lot of men actually make themselves right at home at the hospital, bringing air mattresses or foam toppers to make sure that they can't possibly be inconvenienced by their partner's childbirth. Because God forbid, while your partner's being ripped in fucking half, bringing new life into the world, you have to sleep on a chair that's kind of uncomfy. In researching for this video, I came across video after video of people in active labor literally having to wake up their partners because they couldn't be bothered to even stay awake to support the person who's literally giving birth.
Literally nothing. Okay. Seriously, not even waking up. No. Nothing. I shouldn't laugh. You seriously won't wake up for anything. Let's chase.
Sorry, that's not funny to me. Like this one says, point of view, your husband's sleeping while you're in labor, but you remember he's the reason you're here.
Fucking punk ass bitch.
Or this one, point of view, your husband is sleeping peacefully while you're in labor waiting for the anesthesiologist to come give you your epidural.
When I tell you this is some bullshit, this is some bullshit.
Like waiting for the anesthesiologist to give you an epidural, dude? Doesn't that mean she's in active labor? Why the fuck is he sleeping through that? If she's at the point where she needs an epidural, not only is she in active labor, but she's in the stage of active labor where she's in extreme pain. Why the fuck is he asleep? Maybe this is too far, I don't know, I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments, but I honestly don't think he should be asleep for anything that she isn't asleep for. Just out of like support. Like, she's not allowed to fucking sleep, she's fucking miserably in pain. The least you can do is stay awake to just be a person in the room with her. Honestly, if I was laying in a hospital bed having contractions and I turned to the side and saw my husband in a full honk shoe, me, it would awaken an ancient evil within me. Like, Leighton would never do that, but just thinking about that is actually making me mad at him. Like, how are you going to take your partner to the hospital to be their support person while they go through one of the most painful experiences a human can endure, and they're bringing your child into the world, and you sleep through it? Like, I'm sorry, is this boring you? Again, people die during childbirth, dude. And even if that wasn't the case, in solidarity, wake the fuck up. If she can't sleep, you shouldn't either. Even before the point where she's pushing and actively birthing the child, if your partner's having contractions, I don't think you should be allowed to sleep. It's the same thing to me as how at that active labor stage, the person in labor isn't allowed to eat anything solid, and I saw a ton of videos where men are eating like a 5-course fucking meal while their partner's just in the room, not allowed to have anything but broth and ice chips. Like, at least go into the other room for a minute to eat so you don't torture her, dude. But back to the sleeping. Men sleeping through the important parts of labor and delivery isn't actually exclusive to just the actual labor and delivery. They also get so tired from watching their partner give birth that they can't help but sleep through the night while their partner who just gave birth takes care of the newborn. Like in this example. Throwback to my husband being in dead sleep our first night in the hospital post-birth when I needed his help getting the baby back to his bassinet.
Connor. 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 Connor.
Like, that's so frustrating because she's trying to wake him up, but she also was trying not to wake the newborn up. Like, dude, I can't, I'm frustrated watching this. Or this one, core memory, my husband sleeping all through the night after I gave birth because he was so exhausted after my 48-hour labor and birth. Like, why is this being laughed about like it's funny or normal? It just shows such a severe disrespect for your partner to just blatantly disregard them like that. Like, why would you even want to raise kids with somebody that you can't even rely on night one? Disgusting! On a similar note, I saw so many videos of people posting their partners, and honestly, I'm using gender-neutral language out of habit because I have the woke mind virus, but it's always straight men, complaining about how uncomfortable they are or how they're in pain or their back hurts, while their partner is the one literally giving birth to a fucking child. Like this, for example. Core memory, my husband limping while I was 8 centimeters dilated because his chair was uncomfortable. Or this. Late night finds, but it's just a video of my husband stretching his back on the hospital floor while I was in labor because his back was hurting. Or my personal favorite, this one. Core memory, my mom popping my husband's ear pimple because he was in so much pain while I was mid-labor.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
You might want to try it.
Okay.
Ugh.
Pretty big.
Can't tell.
Does it hurt still?
No, it's, well, I mean, it's still like, it's sensitive because we were messing with it. Right? My ear itself was hurt.
Feel bad, different, yeah. That was.
First of all, gross. And like, he was complaining about a fucking ear pimple, dude. You know what can actually often cause painful pimples for over 9 months? Pregnancy. But no, the attention needs to be all on him because God forbid his partner who's actually going through something real get all of the attention and consideration. Everybody needs to know that you're actually having a bad time too, because immature and selfish people like this can't handle not being the center of attention. This is the type of man to go to his wife's brain tumor surgery and ask the doctor about his headache. It honestly baffles me when anybody is this selfish in a relationship or even a friendship or anything like that. Like, how do you live with yourself when you behave like this? It's one thing to be unintentionally inconsiderate from time to time. As humans, we're all bound to do that because we aren't perfect. But to just have an absolutely blatant disregard for what your partner is going through and make it about you in something as serious as childbirth is so fucking unfathomable to me. Especially over a fucking ear pimple, dude. I feel like when your partner is in labor, you should keep every single complaint to yourself. It isn't hard to put yourself aside for a relatively short period of time while someone you love is going through something. Something that's a sacrifice for both of you, mind you, assuming you're not giving the kid up for adoption or something. Well, speaking of complaining, a lot of men's complaints during their partner's childbirth experiences seem to be about that chair that I briefly mentioned earlier that a lot of people call the husband chair. Basically, when you're the partner to somebody who's giving birth, you're given a chair or couch to hang out on for the duration of the labor while your partner is obviously in the hospital bed. So a lot of these videos are of men complaining that the notorious chair is so uncomfortable. Like this one where she says, when you're in labor but all your husband can talk about is how uncomfortable his chair/bed is. It doesn't even look that bad. Like, it's like a pull-out couch. Or this one where she says, when you're in labor but your husband has very specific sleep conditions at home.
Oh, that's a nice bed. Cozy. Cozy.
Like, it really doesn't seem that bad. It's like a pull-out bed. Like, it's not that serious. But I've even come across videos where the man either got into the tiny hospital bed with the person in labor or made her take the chair while they took the hospital bed. Like this one, she says, when you just gave birth and he takes over your bed. Or this one. Like, dude, she just gave fucking birth and likely got stitches. Get out of her hospital bed. The excuse in a lot of these that I see is, oh, he's been up for 48 hours. But yeah, dude, so has she. And she was in labor that whole fucking time. Got ripped open and then got sewn up. You can lay in an active fucking volcano for all I care. This is not about you. You are not the one who just gave birth. And I think it's very important to really remind ourselves what pregnancy and birth actually is, because it's easy to get this romanticized idea when we're not living in it or working in healthcare. So allow me a quick moment to remind you guys what actually happens to a person's body when they're pregnant.
To make room for this rapid growth, the mother's internal organs adjust significantly throughout the pregnancy.
So 9+ months of your entire body getting rearranged and all fucked up, along with every other pregnancy symptom, which could be its own entire video, but I'll leave that to the professionals. And then you have to push the thing out of your fucking Boston Cop slide. And yes, childbirth is super scary and messy and low-key violent, so it does cause some partners to be lightheaded and fainty, but if you can believe it, it honestly pisses me off when they don't either pull it together or quietly handle it. Like, as somebody who is very anemic, when it comes to fainting, I know ball. And you usually feel it coming. So sit down, stop looking at the scene of the crime, and pull it together. If you faint, it's obviously not your fault. You can't always girl boss your way out of it, but there's a difference between, oh god, I accidentally went unconscious, but not taking the medical attention away from your partner who's actively in labor, and the situations where men ham it up and milk it because it's almost like an excuse to feel like they have a reason to feel sorry for themselves in a situation that isn't about them. Like this girl posted, when you just gave birth and are wondering where all the nurses went. My husband who couldn't handle watching. I feel like you just have to say no, go get her, I'm fine. And yes, fainting is a big deal in general, and it totally sucks, sure. But compared to giving birth, girl, whatever. You just went unconscious for a second. Drink some water and keep your mouth shut.
It was a rough 30 minutes of pushing, but Dusty made it.
I'm gonna quote that.
Nobody's gonna hear about this ever.
I bet they don't. I think you're safe.
Okay, you got one.
I think you're videotaped.
Here we go.
Big deep breath.
All right,
All right,
this,
you
coach.
got it. That's it. Push this baby out. All right.
You're going, Dusty.
That TikTok continues on for a little longer of her continuing to push and him laying on her actively almost passing out, then looking down at the birth every time he comes to, and then almost actively passing out again, and making that same mistake 3 fucking times. Dude, fool me once.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
There's also a stereotype of men bringing their entire gaming setup and hooking it up to the hospital TV and gaming throughout the most inappropriate times. I love video games as much as the next person, don't get me wrong, and don't get me started on Cult of the Lamb, but bring a Steam Deck or something, because getting on an active lobby with the boys is actually fucking crazy.
When you just have a baby.
No, to your left, to your left.
Dude, can you go 2 days without gaming with the boys? Why even come if you're not going to be there for your partner? This person says, my sister has been in labor for the past 38 hours and he hasn't moved from that chair. This person says, when you're in labor and he invites his friend and brought his TV and Xbox in there. He brought his Xbox into our labor and delivery room. Point of view, your wife is in labor, but the boys said to hop on.
Let's go.
Even when men don't bring a gaming setup or anything, a lot of them are eager to be doing anything but just be there emotionally supporting their partner. This is a pretty extreme example, but I would be remiss if I didn't show it. When your ADHD husband decides active labor is the perfect time to become a tattoo artist on himself. And putting aside the stupidity of the timing for a second, the lack of grip tape and a bag on that tattoo machine is also stressing me out. That should certainly have a sanitary plastic bag around it and be wrapped in some grip tape, but I digress. If you're new here, I'm not a tattoo artist, I'm just a scratcher, and I only tattoo myself and 2 or 3 friends who know they're getting scratcher tattoos, but I take sanitation very seriously, and I have a bloodborne pathogen license because getting an infection on a tattoo can kill you. Tattoo artists, feel free to tell me how much you fucking hate me for that in the comments. It's good for the algorithm. Anyway, back to the subject at hand. If your partner's giving birth and you're bored but you don't have a tattoo machine, you can always just get your photo taken. Like in this video, where she says, when you look at your labor video and realize your husband was having his picture taken because the window had a nice view. Honestly, he's me as fuck for that, but time and place, friend. And you did it at my birth. But because birth is something that people tend to be so excited about, and because you're welcoming a new baby into the world, family and close friends tend to want to be a part of the experience. A lot of them will either want to be in the hospital, or sometimes they'll even ask to be in the delivery room while the baby's being born. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people tend to forget or have some cognitive dissonance about the fact that, well, yes, it's a beautiful thing and it's natural, etc. It's still like your pussy out and you're probably gonna shit yourself. Like, why do people want to be in the delivery room? It just seems so intimate and vulnerable. And then to have your like extended family and in-laws all staring into your open vag is crazy to me. Like, did you want to come to my next pap smear too and watch the gyno work? What are you talking about, dude? Luckily, my in-laws are wonderful, so shout out to them. I wouldn't have to worry about this. But I've seen a lot of people talk online about their mother-in-laws like demanding to be in the delivery room because it's their grandbaby. And to me, that's just so wild because sure, it is your grandbaby, but it is also inside of someone else's body. So does she not have the right to bodily autonomy and privacy and decency just because her womb is housing your grandbaby? She's an independent person as well, not just a baby oven. I saw a lot of labor and delivery healthcare workers talking about how it's a really common thing and a huge pet peeve that a lot of men won't stand up for or advocate for the wishes of their partners who are in labor once they're too far along to be able to speak for themselves.
The partner who can't stand up for his wife or girlfriend who's in labor, I can tell that she is uncomfortable or tired of having visitors in the room, and he either can't read the room or won't, or is too afraid to stand up to his mom and say, hey, like she wants everybody out, one reason or the other. I've also heard men say, well, your mom gets to be here, so it's not fair that my mom doesn't also get to be here. It's both of their grandchildren. I hate that. We'll just call him a husband from here on out. But as her husband, it is his job to be a sentinel and kick out the unwanted guests when she gives him the look. And so when he doesn't do that, that job falls to me, which I love. I will do it, but I'm like, dude, come on.
And that's so fucked up to me. I know most nurses, luckily, are very great at advocating for mothers' wishes, but you should be able to count on your partner to stand up for you and tell people, like, no, we don't want anybody in the delivery room, or whatever the decision is. But this kind of reminds me of that Mama's Boy video I made a bit ago. You should watch it if you haven't already. I'll link it. But like, get into this. This girl posted, late night finds, but it's a video of my mother-in-law cuddling my husband while I'm 9 centimeters dilated. Dude, girl, who's the wife? That is so fucking crazy. And low-key, also proof that that chair can't be that big of a deal if it's fitting 2 grown adults laying down. Also, again, why are we asleep when your wife is 9 centimeters dilated? I did save the most vile and horrific for last, so strap in. If you're not interested in watching this part, I completely understand. I'll put a little content warning on the screen and when you can skip to if you're interested in skipping this part. Protect your peace, I understand. If you haven't heard of this, the husband stitch is an incredibly, extremely dangerous and non-consensual form of medical malpractice and, frankly, female genital mutilation, where the provider stitching the person up after birth adds an extra stitch to supposedly increase the tightness of the vagina, which only benefits the man that they are intimate with. It causes severe pain, serious infection, tears, inability to heal the wound, inability to stand upright or walk for a longer period of time after the birth, and more. And I'm sorry for the amount of censoring I'm gonna have to do. I wish I didn't have to because it is a very serious and abhorrent practice. I bring it up because according to healthcare workers online, there are men who go into labor and delivery with their partners and joke about it far too often to count. So as far as being a selfish and disgusting pig, even joking about something like that takes the cake as far as I'm concerned. I honestly think it should be referred to as the micropenis stitch, because what do you mean you need medical intervention to fill your woman out? And I'm sorry to end this one on a sad or upsetting note, but I think it's important to talk about things like this so you guys understand why I get so frustrated by even the smaller, seemingly more inconsequential behavior. It's all because of misogyny, and that lack of respect for AFAB people is something that we should always be calling out. Like, imagine if a woman took her husband in for a major surgery and slept through the whole thing, or told him to relax when he said that he was scared, or played games the whole time, or complained about her headache, or took his hospital bed. And I know there will be some incels in the comments being like, that actually does happen all the time. And sure, there are women who are terrible partners and are assholes. But the difference is, when women are assholes, we're quick to call that behavior what it is. When men are assholes, everybody jumps up excitedly into a single file line for a chance to make as many excuses as possible for them, or to bring up the things that they did that actually weren't bad. So fuck that double standard. Don't put up with men who aren't good people. Don't accept misogyny, and watch the original Alien movie. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it right there. For more videos, check out my second channel, Brookesharks Bites, where I post beauty and lifestyle content. A lot of you guys comment asking if I have a makeup or hair tutorial, and I do on my second channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and you can join my Patreon. I post some extras over there, and I have a Patreon exclusive Discord. Thank you again to Bellesa for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys for checking out Bellesa. Don't forget to beat the shit out of the like button and murder the subscribe button, and if you're feeling crazy, you can give birth to the bell. I'll see you soon with another video.